interrogate, liberate, that's the plan. Yeah, SportsCrit Lab, SportsCrit Lab, for every parent, coach, and fan.
All right, good people, we're back. And so we have embarked on, we're looking at the cul-de-sac of care, okay? We're looking at the neighborhood, and we've already met 4 of our neighbors, okay? We've met Accessibility and Paralympic Innovation House. Hey, girl. Then moving right over there, that's the Robinson's Old House, Nutrition and Food Justice. Hey, good to see ya. Okay, house 2, we got mental health and recovery. They move right over there, right to the left, 90 degrees, right to the left, right? And then we met, they were here first. They got here, they made sure, everybody had what they needed. Health and medical care house. So we've already introduced 4 of the houses of care and the conditions of care cul-de-sac, okay? So the 5th house is housing and community living. And so the primary indicators that I aforementioned is material and relational care. You want to be able to have literally the material things, external things that folks can thrive. And so the house asks, can people safely live where they work and compete? Housing, the WNBA, they were trying to remove the housing note from the forthcoming collective bargaining agreement. So it's like, if I get traded to a city across the country, where am I going to live? Temporary housing for WNBA players, things like that. Of course, the NBA has it, and NFL and all the things. Like, there's structures that's puts in place where athletes can lay their head down. Okay, and so material and relational care. Do families belong here in this community? Do they feel like they belong? And also, communities strengthened or displaced? When we talk about displaced, we talk about the world champions, Los Angeles Dodgers. I want you to go ahead and visit the SportsCrit Quick Hit mini episode in which I shared a mini lecture with the students in Kin 4430 as regards to Chavez Ravine in the LA Dodgers. And as we watched the parade live in class. So talking about displacement, where were they put? Where were they sent? Where will they help assist our unhoused brothers and sisters and communities for LA28? Olympic host city is like first day of school, first date. You got to put on, you understand? You got to put your best representation out there. And so those students that will be in my historical and perspective views on sports and kinesiology, we will learn a little bit more about what happened with LA28 and also the indicators that really assisted in helping me created a lot of the police brutality and mistreatment of Black and brown bodies in the 80s till present day. The Olympics did all that. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to look at a few articles and what scholars say that LA28 is a primer for that possibility for history to repeat itself. Okay. Housing isn't simply about just shelter good people. It's about belonging, security, neighborhood safety, neighborhood stability, and then dignity. And so this house asks us, especially important when this semester we're going to be examining LA28 and the questions of displacement. In my class second semester, usually the new year, we talk about this when it comes to the Super Bowl hosting cities. Okay. And so it's very important to have this house. A house is not a home. I'm singing this, and my students are probably thinking I just went into a tangent, but I was literally giving them a little bit of Luther Vandross. So, the next house, House 6, environmental wellness. This was one that, once again, as I was building my scholarship, as I was going to different conferences and hearing different scholars and athletes speak about their lived experiences, environmental wellness was one of the most, I think, really important houses that I wanted to have students assess for conditions of care. So I was on a webinar about environmental activists, particularly as it pertains to the Olympics and just different mega events and elite sport in general. And they had a few rowers, and they were talking about the forthcoming Paris Olympics. So this was back in 2024 when I was watching this or part of this webinar. And I, of course, someone will say it as they're listening, or Titus, throw the name up, once it clicks. But Paris, they did a lot of different environmental upgrades, right, to help greenify the city, and their goal was that they wanted to be the most green Olympics thus far, in which I believe that they have. The rowers were talking about the heat in which they were training for the Olympics. They were talking about certain bodies of water that fish were dying. You literally saw fish floating because they were dead, and this is the body of water that the athletes were training in. So then what does that do to their bodies in itself as they are consuming, right, the toxins in the water? And so environmental wellness, structural as well as material care, is very, very important. We also want to look at the ways in which LA28, Mayor Bass, they're thriving, and they're really wanting to push this narrative that LA28 will be the first carless Olympics. And so that's what we're talking about. When leaders make these decisions, is it truly a part of environmental wellness, or, do you want to make a splash? Okay, house 6. 2 more houses. House 7, education and athlete development. I know I just said a couple of them are my favorite, but low key, this is it right here. Okay, house 7, athlete and education development. Primary indicators that I aforementioned, structural and relational. Very important. Very, very, very important, particularly for the growth, the development of student athletes, of professional athletes. How is that education continuing, professional and personal growth? What types of environmental processes and policies and opportunities do athletes have? And so it's really about, how does this house provide care for people beyond sport? We have done, we've seen a lot of work. I did the article, oh my gosh, like in 2009, Prominence Magazine. I was a sports editor, and I talked about, really, as I realize now, I was writing about conditions of care, but concussions in the NFL, and how they, obviously affected athletes, and the type of care that the NFL provided after they retired. Then, finding studies and hearing about the lived experience of some athletes being extremely depressed and suffering from different mental health struggles post the NFL, and how it affected relationships and marriages and really them. And unfortunately, we're seeing some of these professional athletes after sport having a difficult time, to say the least, adjusting to said that. So in this house, they want to know, are they preparing athletes for life after sport? This house asks, do athletes have educational opportunities, career preparation, leadership development, financial literacy? NIL. Woo! Now, there are some institutions, some teams that are doing NIL in a good way, the best that they can, as it falls under this house, where there's financial literacy. I believe Dion and them at Colorado, piece of, whatever NIL the student athletes get, it's held towards like financial literacy or setting up different like 401ks. So that's the way to go, right? That's one way. Do they have education opportunities, leadership development, financial literacy, NIL education? I'm cooking something up. When it comes to cooking something up. Mentorship, because honestly, careers, particularly careers in sports, they will eventually end, but people continue. And so what types of education and athlete development does this house look for? And that's what we'll be asking this semester. Our last house. Woo! Okay, this is near and dear to me because I think about this through multiple classes, right? Which is the community legacy, right? The last house, the community legacy. Now, as we will be studying the Olympics, good people, I want you to pay attention to when the word legacy is brought up. What do the people mean when they're talking about legacy, right? And what does that mean in the context of whomever is talking about whatever in the Olympic context? So the primary indicators of House A community legacy is cultural and relational care. It really can be all of them, okay? But we'll keep it funky with the cultural and relational. So perhaps the most important question of all: when the Olympic flame goes out, what remains? Who remains? Does the community become stronger? Were residents involved in this legacy plan? Were they involved in decision making? Did partnerships grow or decrease? Did young people gain opportunities? That's legacy right there. Okay. Did the games leave behind healthier neighborhoods or empty stadiums? Literal empty stadiums. Legacy should be measured by much more than just buildings and moolah. It should be measured by the people, right? And so in these houses, as we are going to be focusing on mega events, particularly LA28 this year, this semester in the SportsCrit Lab, I just want us to know. Now we have two ways of understanding care. The indicators help us identify what underlining qualities of a caring system as we investigate and interrogate those systems. The houses identify the places where those qualities should be visible. Should be. Okay. And so as we are moving through the semester, good people, in the SportsCrit Lab, Dr. G rolling deep, I want you to imagine. Close your eyes, hold on. Let's really set this up here. Here we go. All right. Here we go. As you move through the semester, good people, I want you to imagine yourself walking through an Olympic village. You there? You're not asking, is it beautiful? But you're asking, does care live here? Which houses are thriving? And as you look around, what houses are neglected? Which indicators are present? And perhaps most importantly, as you're looking around, which houses were never built? Okay? Because sometimes injustice isn't found in what's broken, it's found in what's missing.
The SportsCrit Lab podcast is a SportsCrit collective production. We are committed to empowering athletes, educators, coaches, and fans to reframe the game and bring about lasting change. We appreciate you tuning in. Thank you to my guest music producer, Alaric, whose beat you are nodding your head to right now. You could find him at Prod Alaric, like producer Alaric, ALARIC. A special thank you to my SportsCrit Lab research team, whose insightful research and commitment to social justice is at the heart of every episode. And all you accomplices out there who are co-conspiring with us for a better tomorrow. If you liked today's episode, please don't forget to subscribe, follow, and share with anyone that you think would benefit from this new lens of the world of sports. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.